today is how to remove this emblem and clean up some of this real cruddy looking brown, nasty looking paint around it. So the emblem we're going to be putting in is actually fairly similar. It looks almost like the stock one, except it says International Diesel Power and has the International Heavy Duty emblem on it. So these actually are almost identical to the factory size. They're just a touch bigger, which kind of is going to help with hiding some of that brown. So I'll show you guys how I take these out. One of the biggest problems is the foam behind here is just rock hard, and it's really hard to get off, and it's going to damage the paint. And there's a couple of techniques you can do to kind of help clean it and hide it. So first step, we're just going to pull this emblem off. So the way I go about pulling these off, I usually just take a hook and get right up behind it, and then you just give a little tug, and then it usually just end up popping right off. Ooh, nasty. This one had a bunch of water. It was actually growing algae at one point, it looks like. So now that we get that off, we're left with all this stuff here. You can see I actually have a bunch of paint that just came off right off the top there. So what I do in the spots where the paint was damaged, you can actually just take like a small flat bladed screwdriver, and you can just kind of work that off. Yeah, so there's a bunch of paint stuck to the back of that piece. All this right here is taking paint with it. So like I say, you just go through and break off all this old foam, all the loose stuff. So now once you get all the loose foam off, if you take a nice sharp brand new razor blade, you can usually get right on the edge, and usually I'll start at the outside and work my way toward the middle, and you can just kind of slowly go through and shave this stuff off. So now that we got all of our foam off, we got all this adhesive that we got to deal with and all this nasty looking yellow paint. So what I do, I actually just have a little DA that I hook onto a drill with some polishing compound, and it seems to clean that up halfway decent most of the time. We'll see what it does on here. So before I do my DA, I actually go over this with a rubber eraser wheel, and that kind of helps to kind of clean a lot of this stuff off and prep it for the DA. Now I think we've actually gone and made it look even worse. So next step we're going to do here is just go through, kind of clean this up here a little bit with some Windex. So this is what I use to do a lot of the paint polishing. It's the Meguiar's DA Power System. I actually ended up buying it to use on jet skis, and it worked incredibly well for doing that. I mean, obviously if you're going to be doing a car, you're going to be here forever, because it is only like about a 4-inch polishing pad, but it gets the job done, especially if you're doing small areas like this. So this right here is actually their ultimate compound, and it's going onto their coarse red cutting pad. And this thing here actually works really good. It's almost impossible to burn the paint with it, and it doesn't splatter stuff everywhere. So you can see even just after that first little bit, they got rid of a lot of that leftover rubber. I mean, there's still some that I might probably have to, a little bit of junk that I got to get a little carried away with cleaning, but you can see it cleaned out the O here pretty good, and around the emblem fairly decent. I mean, a lot of this stuff is just stained into the paint and there's nothing we can do. But what I like to do when I put my emblem on, I shift it up just a tiny little bit high to cover this brown line, and then it helps to hide the bottom side. Usually they're not looking from the bottom up, usually looking from the top down, so it really kind of helps to hide it. So we'll go on to the next pad here. It's the polishing pad, and we'll kind of go through the next little step of getting that cleaned up. This right here is the second step. You use the yellow polishing pad and then the polishing compound. The thing I thought was kind of cool about this, they kind of make it almost like polishing for dummies. If you noticed in the last bottle, the car was red, the pad you use is red. This one, the car is yellow, the pad's yellow. The final one, which is the wax, which I'm not going to put on here because I don't want to wax something that I'm going to be sticking tape to, but the pad is black, the car is black. So kind of cool that they color coordinate that stuff so you don't have to remember which is what. I don't know why, but Meguiar's products always smell so good. Again, not sponsored by them, I just like their stuff. Okay, we'll give that a minute to kind of haze over and then we'll clean it up. Alright guys, so now that we got this paint here all kind of cleaned up, you know, like I say, around the O looks pretty good. The edge here, I mean, it looks as good as we can get. I mean, we're dealing with 26-year-old paint here, and actually some of it is missing. It's just down to the primer. So here's my little trick that I do to cheat putting these emblems on. You clearly have a line where the top of the emblem was and a line here where the side of the emblem was. So I just take some masking tape and I mask off where my emblem needs to go. So I'll mask like right just above where my brown line is, and then right on the edge here of the emblem, and then that gives me a guide to set the new emblem in place. So we're gonna go like right here. And then on this side, we're gonna go right up against the edge. And then that's my guide of where I need to put the new emblem. Yeah, so I'll go and get this emblem prepped. You know, we obviously have paper on the back of it, so I'm gonna go get this all peeled up, and then we'll get this laid in. So basically it's gonna sit right here, and it's gonna cover up pretty much all that dirty junk that was there. So we got the backing off. You can see these emblems just come with a full sheet of double-sided stick foam. So now I just gotta spend a bit of time and patience to line this up exactly where we need it to go. And usually what I'll do is I'll get my edge on the top first, and then kind of just get my side lined up, and then when it looks like where I need it to be, I just let it lightly set, and then I peel back my tape. So now my trick to this is I don't take the tape completely off, I just take it back. So that way I can kind of see the edge of my emblem and make sure I don't have any brown showing through that is going to be painfully noticeable at the end. So if I lift this up kind of like this, and then I realize, oh man, that looks like crap, then all I got to do is lay it back down. I mean, obviously I distorted the tape a little bit, but I kind of had the general idea. So this is about as good as I'm going to be able to get. So I'm going to take my tape off. Now I do have just a tiny little bit of brown above it, but I also have a bunch more that's getting ready to show through the bottom, so I really can't move this up a whole bunch. Maybe just a tiny little bit. Let me remark this. Yeah, so we'll try and relay this here. I'm going to take just a little bit of tape here as a marker for my edge. So it needs to go right back on there. And then I'm going to do just a short little piece here on the bottom of where I want it to set. And then I'm going to do one little marker here, actually two little markers here on the top, just to keep it level. So we got one that we're going to put right here. And I'm going to set that up just a little bit so I can not stick that emblem over my masking tape when I go to set it back down. And then we're going to do the same right here. So now I should be able to just lift this up, because again, we didn't really stick it into place, we just set it. So we're going to try this again. We'll move it right back to where it was on the side. We're going to line up the top, and again, we're just going to set it. We'll peel back our tape. And this one here, I'm just going to get it all the way out of the way, because I think I'm kind of at the end of my limit on what I'm going to be able to shift around here. So I'm already liking this quite a bit better. You can see I don't have anything on the bottom showing through, and my brown marking across the top here is gone. So then if you're happy with it, you just kind of give it a little push, and that dude is on. It's not coming off without being destroyed. So I'm gonna just kind of bust through the other side here and get it done while I have a little bit of sunlight left here, and I'll show you the finished product. All right guys, so we got the passenger side here all done. This side here even came out a little bit better than the driver's side. I'm actually really happy with how this one came out. I don't see any of the brown. You can see the emblem over covers everything here real nice, and almost looks like it was intended to be there from Ford. So you know, again, I got these off of Amazon. I think I paid like 40 bucks for them, and I think they're pretty slick. I couldn't be happier with them. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Alright guys, well that's going to be the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment. Let me know what you think. I know it's not really a whole bunch of stuff. It wasn't anything really custom. There's a bunch of people running the headlights and that grill. Emblems, I'm sure there's a bunch of people out there with them. I really like the way the truck's coming together. I think probably the next thing I'm going to do is get the wheels changed out. I think I'm going to try and sell these wheels that I have, and I think I'm going to take the 20s off of that donor truck, try them out, see if I like the look, see what kind of feedback I get from everybody that's been giving me a hard time about it. And then if I end up liking them, I'll have to get some different center caps, because right now I don't have any, and I'll probably be doing a little bit of powder coating. Maybe I'll do a little how-to powder coat from your garage. Other than that, a couple things that I'm going to be doing here in the near future, I think, is going to be we'll get the front bumper line-X'd. I want to smoke out the rear tail lights. I want to fix the dent in my rear bumper. One side of it's kind of smashed in. and I want to line X that black as well, so kind of get like a whole black and white theme going on. So stay tuned for those videos. They'll be coming up here hopefully soon, and I hope to catch you on the next one. So thanks for watching.